Hello and welcome to In Conversation with WLV Doctoral College. I'm Deborah Curitan and I'm the Research Development Manager at the University of Wolverhampton.
And I'm Dr Ben Halligan, I'm Director of the Doctoral College.
So today's vlog we're going to talk about writing, structuring writing, because people often say when I sit down and write, I get a writing block, or I procrastinate, or I suddenly feel the urge to go and clean out the cupboards or do all the ironing, and I never make progress with my writing. So we're going to talk about ways in which you can structure your writing days to be able to at least make some progress. So
you have a certain technique involving tomatoes.
Tomatoes, yes. I don't particularly like tomatoes, but these are the it's called the Pomodoro technique. Is
Pomodoro?
It? Pomodoro technique. Tomatoes in Italian. That's why it's the tomato technique, and Deborah can never remember words, so it's the tomato technique. So it's a well-known approach which breaks down writing into small chunks. So for some people, those chunks might be 20 minutes. For other people, those chunks might be an hour. So what you do is you set yourself a goal that you're going to write. So you have a focus. So that goal might be, I'm going to write 100 words on this topic. For other people, it might having a word count might be a bit stressful. So it might be, I'm going to write about this particular point in this particular paragraph. So you give yourself a goal that you're kind of working to, and you have an aim and a focus for what you're going to write. Turn off your social media, you turn off your emails, you turn off the phone. You sit down and you write. So the way I do that, so I write for an hour. I will spend 5 minutes where I brainstorm what it is that I'm going to do. And I'll write down in bullet points what points I want to cover in the particular chapter or the particular paragraph that I'm going to write within the time. And then I spend the next 55 minutes expanding on those points. I try not to worry too much about the referencing, because for me, one of my procrastination activities is to keep going back to the literature to double check that actually what I'm saying is right, and it was that person who said it. So I will sometimes just put in ref question mark, or I'll put in brackets XXX, and I know that I've got to go back to that. And I just write. I write from inspired flow, so I just get the words down on a piece of paper, and then I spend 5 minutes towards the end of that block just going back through, doing a bit of an editing job. And I usually find that I can write somewhere in the region of about 300 words in that time frame.
That's quite a lot.
Yes. So then the next bit of the technique is to make sure that you take a break and give your mind a rest. So for me, one of the things that might get in the way is actually doing the washing up or cleaning the cupboards. I can go and do the washing up for 10 minutes. I can go and do something less boring instead. Give my brain a rest. For other people, that might be having a cup of coffee, might be going and sitting in the garden for a few minutes, doing those things that, check your emails or check Twitter or social media. And then my next point is just spend 5-10 minutes looking through the references and putting the references in, but only giving myself a short amount of time to do that, so I'm not going back to reading the literature. Then again, I set myself another target of writing for an hour, and I go through that process. And what I'll do is I'll do that process either 3 or possibly 4 times a day, so I'll have 4-hour writing blocks. And by the end of that day, I will have somewhere in the region of about 1,000 words that I've written, or 1,200 words that I've written, sometimes more, if I get in the flow. And they're referenced, and they're kind of proof kind of read on a first check level. But that means that you know, I've made some progress on the work that I'm doing. Some people find that technique works for them and some people don't. So what people find helps them with that technique is maybe working with other people where you're both implementing that technique together, that you're articulating your goals to each other, and that could be sitting in a room together, or that might be working at a distance. So we did an event during Researchers Week where one of our lovely PGO was telling us about how she does that technique with a friend on the phone, and they ring each other up and say, okay, we're going to sit down and write now for an hour, this is what I'm going to do, I'll ring you back in an hour and tell you how far I've got. And having made that commitment to somebody else helps you
showing the discipline of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And one of our ERAS fellows, Daisy Black, also shared with me an online community that do that. So they have what they call a Twitter writing retreat, or an online writing retreat, where everybody tweets in to say what they're going to do on a particular hashtag. They do it, they tweet in to say how they've got on in that, and have a bit of a discussion about it, then set their goals again and write again. So they're agreeing. Then they might not ever know each other or meet each other in person, but they're using Twitter as a forum for making those promises to each other, making those commitments, and putting that level of discipline into their day.
Because, you know, I mean, I think that's fantastic, because if you were to sort of think, well, I'll begin at 10 o'clock, and then I must start writing now. There's a blank piece of paper or a blank screen ahead of you. It can really be too much.
Yeah.
And it could be that you get nothing done, and by lunchtime you've, you know, wasted the time, nothing's been achieved, so you think, well, I'll start after lunch, and then you don't. And at the end of that experience, at the end of that day, you've got nothing to show for it. But worse than that, you've got a lot of stress, guilt, tension, loads of expectations for next time when you have to make up for all of this other stuff, you know. So I think what you're suggesting sounds like a fantastic program to gently ease yourself into achieving something.
And you know, for me, I do that in different places. So sometimes I pick up the computer and move. So I might do my first hour sitting in my office at home writing. I might do my second hour sitting in the living room writing. The third hour might be sat in the kitchen writing, and if it's nice and sunny, I might go outside to write the fourth hour. So I change venues as well to try and mix it up and make it vital. The other thing that I find really useful is that kind of almost like that brainstorming, that brain dump, which is akin to your teachers at school telling you that before you write the essay in your GCSEs, or I don't know about you, Ben, I don't know how old you are, but
GCSE?
GCSEs for you? Well, it was O-levels for me. It just shows that I'm older than you. Before you do your GCSEs or your O-levels, you write your essays, you write the plan and then you cross it out. So that sort of brain dump is literally a sort of slightly more sophisticated way of writing the plan. You're not necessarily crossing it out, but you're expanding on it and including it in the work that you're doing, the writing that you're doing.
What a fantastic technique.
It's not mine, it's one I've borrowed from somebody else. But you know, you can search the internet. If that technique doesn't work for you, search the internet and see what techniques other people share, because you know, that's one of lots of techniques.
And I think they're related very much to your propensity. I mean, some people like to write a lot, very intensely across a long stretch of time, infrequently.
Yeah.
Some people are much more organised. I don't include myself in this category. They can do a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Other people have to go with how they're feeling that day.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it can take a while to find what works for you. But when you've found it, you've found the key to progressing your work.
Writer's block is something that kind of gets in the way for a lot of people, and sometimes writer's block is about being tired. So if you are preparing to write, you know, you need to think about your physical well-being. You know, you do need to have had a good night's sleep before. probably you do need to have eaten your breakfast, because having a rumbling tummy for an hour isn't going to be help you be productive writing. And so there is that kind of making sure that you're well rested, that you're well watered, and you're well fed, and that you're comfortable. Sitting on a hard chair somewhere and you're not comfortable isn't going to be productive. When you're hunched over something that gives you a backache, again, you're not going to write. So you do need to look at your physical surroundings
and with good light as well.
Yes.
That's the other important thing.
I know people think that I'm just trying to be too cool for school with these, but I'm dyslexic, and those are my dyslexia glasses. But lots of people have coloured lensed glasses because it helps them look at a screen for much longer, helps with that eye strain, that looking at a screen all day can generate. And you can buy coloured glasses if you've not got a prescription in them for £10-15 on the internet. And I would highly recommend that you look into that, because it does help with eye strain.
Okay.
So any tips that you'd like to share, Ben? Because I've been going like this.
No, I think my tip is just follow your advice.
And my tip is don't stress it. If you're getting stressed by having a target, look at what other ways that you can do that. So for some people, they find that this approach is a bit of a pressure cooker, and it stresses them out. Look at different ways of doing it. So don't set numbers, I'm going to write so many thousand words. Look at how many concepts you're going to cover, or how many paragraphs that you might write, or sections that you might write, and find a different way of setting a goal that works for you.
Okay.
So thank you for listening. As always, we're really interested in what you'd like us to do vlogs about. So if you've got any ideas of things that you would like us to cover, do put the comments below in the comments section. And please follow us, follow our channel, because you'll get updates then about when each time we release a vlog. We release vlogs every Friday, so you'll get a notification to say a new vlog has appeared. So thank you for listening, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye.